Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a concept from a fascinating source that might just change how you see, well, everything around you. From the gadgets in your pocket to the whole structure of our economy, it's a powerful idea called scarcity theater. Okay, let's just jump right in with a feeling I bet you've had. That quiet frustration. That sense that something in our economic system just doesn't quite add up anymore. It's that nagging feeling that things are being made difficult on purpose. It starts with stuff like this from NVIDIA. A company makes a perfectly good, powerful computer chip, and then they spend more time and money to intentionally break it, to cripple it with software, just so they can sell different versions. The full capability is right there, but nope, it's locked away unless you pay up. And once you have a name for this, you start seeing it absolutely everywhere. Life-saving drugs that cost a few bucks to make being sold for hundreds. Streaming services yanking shows you're about to watch just to create this fake sense of urgency. And then there are entire systems, like insurance, that seem to have perfected the art of, well, not providing a service, but of managing the denial of that service. So to understand why all of this feels so fundamentally wrong, we have to rewind a bit. We need to look at the original problem that capitalism was supposed to solve in the first place. Because it wasn't always like this. The system had a real job to do, in a very different kind of world. See, the whole system was built for a world of genuine physical scarcity. Not enough food, not enough wood, not enough stuff. Markets were a great way to figure out who gets what. Then, the Industrial Revolution kind of changed the game, creating tons of material abundance. But the biggest shift, the one we're living in right now, happened when the cost of copying and sharing digital information dropped to basically zero. And this brings us to a really, really important question. What is an economic system that's designed to manage scarcity supposed to do when abundance becomes the new normal? What happens when a lack of something isn't a law of nature anymore, but a deliberate business decision? So how did the system respond to all this new potential for abundance? Did it adapt? Nope. Instead, it just started pretending the old rules still applied. It started putting on a performance. And that brings us to the main idea of this whole explainer. A phenomenon the source calls, and there it is, scarcity theater. It's the act of putting on a show, pretending things are rare to protect a business model that only works if things are rare. It's building walls and gates, not because there isn't enough to go around, but because the people in charge need those walls to stay in charge. And this slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the original idea of capitalism. Its goal, to create new value. Its method, to actually solve problems of scarcity. It had a direct connection to the real world. But scarcity theater? Its goal is just to extract value that's already there. And its action is to perform scarcity. It completely breaks that feedback loop with reality. Now, if you want the most extreme, almost heartbreaking example of this, the source points directly to healthcare. We have the knowledge, the technology, the ability to provide amazing care to so many more people. We see other countries doing it, but our system often ends up manufacturing the very scarcity of care that it claims to be solved. And this isn't just some abstract economic problem. This performance, this collective make-believe, it has a real, deep, and corrosive effect on all of us, on our minds, and on our society. It's exhausting. The source actually calls this an architecture of bad faith, and it's a four-step process. Step 1, we all kind of know a better way exists. Step 2, the system stops us from actually doing it. Step 3, the people stuck inside that system, doctors, teachers, engineers, are forced to act against their own judgment, which causes this moral injury. And step 4, all of this just eats away at our collective trust in everything. And at the exact same time all this was happening, the internet came along and completely blew up our shared sense of reality. On the one hand, that was amazing. It liberated tons of hidden knowledge. But on the other hand, it dissolved the common stories and facts we used to agree on. The result? We have more information than ever before, but somehow less of a shared reality. So, wow, if the system is just putting on a play and our shared reality has been fractured into a million pieces, where on earth do we go from here? Is there any way out of this? Well, the source points out the two paths we usually talk about. First, there's reform, which historically seems to only happen after some huge disaster forces us to change. Or there's collapse, where trust just decays until the whole thing breaks. Frankly, neither of those sounds all that great. But what if that's a false choice? What if we're not just stuck between those two options? What if a third path is already, quietly, starting to emerge, powered by the very technologies that are defining our world right now? The source suggests this new path could be built with things like relational AI. Now, don't think of AI as just a tool you ask questions. Think of it more like a partner in a conversation, one that is shaped by you as much as it shapes your thinking. The goal isn't to create some single top-down truth. The goal is to use these new systems to help us find common ground again, rebuilding a shared understanding, not through control, but through connection. But, and this is a really big but, there's a huge warning here. This new hopeful path isn't safe. The same old logic of scarcity theater could easily take over and colonize this new space too, putting up the same old gates and walls before it even gets going. So, we end here. The crucial point isn't about having a simple solution. It's about learning to see the performance. And the source leaves us with this final provocative thought. Once we see the theater for what it is, a performance of scarcity in an age of real abundance, what is our responsibility to each other? What do we do next?